Hi, welcome to the seventh part of the goods market model lecture. This lecture is actually part of the course Introduction to the Economics, and the series is created for the Milan Technical University Northern Cyprus campus. Well, last time we have seen the basic dynamic between the AE plant and GDP, and how AE plant as a mathematical equation can be found, and basically how AE plant and GDP, AE plant plus IM plant are related to each other, and how basically what happens in the economic system when AE plant is larger or smaller than the GDP in a conventional way. Now we will get more into math of AE plant and also math of the equation. Well, first I would like to show you algebraically how we can see mainly the way economy converges to the equilibrium, and how can we define the output level at equilibrium based on when a certain constants in the economic system is fixed. As you have seen, I in the economic system, the investment will be fixed, and the autonomous output would also be fixed. MPC would also be fixed. Y and the aggregate expenditure, planned aggregate expenditure, would vary. But for any fixed variable, fixed values for these three, let's say, variables, we will have a fixed or equilibrium output level, at which, of course, aggregate expenditure will also equal to the output level. Planned aggregate expenditure will also be equal to the output level. Only for the short run, basically, very short run, the aggregate expenditure, planned aggregate expenditure, and output level might diverge from the equilibrium, but in the long run, the economic system will converge back to this equilibrium. So first, let us ask how can we find this equilibrium point for fixed values of I planned, MPC, and autonomous spending. And then I will also like a little bit play, well, what will happen if at this equilibrium point we change one of this variable, what will happen in the very short run, and what will happen in the long run, basically, if we initially converge from this equilibrium. So let's start. So how can we find the equilibrium output level? Well, for this, we need to do two different things. Well, since we want to know the equilibrium output level, we are concerned what will happen in the short run. So having fixed level of well, A, MPC, and I planned, what will be our state in the short run? That's what we are trying to find, and then we will in that we will return to the very short run. But for now, we are looking what will happen in the short run. There are two things we know. In the short run, AE plant and Y are equal to each other, and AE plant is equal to C plus Y, which is equal to A plus MPC times Y plus I plant. Of course, Y is YD, but here, as I said, we assume there is no government. So this basically means we can take this equation and then this part is not necessary, basically, and we know this is equal to Y. Now we have a fixed A, not that, fixed MPC and fixed I plant, and we have two Y's in our equation. This equation can also be written like this. We can open the parentheses since we are not multiplying this with anything. This was consumption, that's why we took it in the parentheses. And then we can take I plant basically here. let me create a spot for it. I'm just changing the place of it. Okay, now having this equation, one thing we can do is we can basically take this term, subtract this term from both right hand side and left hand side. In that case, this term will get to the left side with a minus, basically. As the next step, we can do this. We take the equation once again. Hope there is no problem with that. And I will just take y out of this equation, which will leave me with 1 minus MPC times y. And then this would mean that let me do it once again here. I'm sorry. Well, then I divide both sides to 1 minus MPC, which will basically move my MPC here. One minus MPC, I'm sorry, here. And here now I need to have a parenthesis, of course. And moment. Okay. So my y, the short run equilibrium output level, will be equal to, let's make this smaller, autonomous spending plus I planned divided by 1 minus MPC. What was the expression 1 over 1 minus the MPC? Since I can separate this as my also the multiplication term. Let's do that actually. Let's multiply this with 1 over 1 minus MPC. What was 1 over 1 minus MPC? It was my multiplier. So I basically multiply my A plus I planned with my multiplier, which is very logical if you think actually. In the end, the short run equilibrium output will be determined in this way. There is an initial spending done independent of the output level, which is A plus I planned. Both are independent of the output level according to the model. And then this initial spending level will be multiplied by the multiplier, and we got our short run equilibrium output level. So this is how we find algebraically our short run equilibrium output level. Now let's continue. Now let's have a little bit fun. Let's have the equations above available, and basically keep these two. And let's say this is short run. And this is very, very short run. I mean, in the very short run, we still have this equation going on. And in the very short run, we have another thing. Y is equal to AE plant plus I unplanned. I will deal with the sizes in a minute. Sorry for this. Of course, this is unplanned. Let's make this smaller, and let's make the plus larger. Okay, having everything all right, let's see the question here. Let's say A is 100, I is 5, and MPC is 0.5. GDP in the very short run is 100. What will be my AE plant in the very short run? So first I'm dealing with the very short run. So in the very short run, my AE plant is equal to A, which was 500, I believe. No, 100. I is 500. So 100 plus MPC, which is equal to 0.5, and GDP is 1000. 0.5 times 1000. All of these is 100, 0.5, 1000. The terms are, you can see the terms at the equation. Plus, I believe this was 500, the plant investment level. Am I right? I'm right, yes. So my AE plant is basically, I can open this parentheses. Let's leave it here for now, for this one at least. Now I can open this parentheses and add this 500 and 100, this number and this number to each other and make it 600. Well, 0.5 times 1000 is 500, and 600 plus 5000 is 1100. Now, what was my y? My y is equal to A plant plus my plus I unplanned. My y was, I have given my y, the output level, which was equal to 1000, basically. And then it is 100 plus I unplanned. So my unplanned is equal to, in this case, minus. So there is a investment level, inventory investment level will be 100 units less than it was planned. And note that inventory investment level itself could be negative or positive, depending on planned inventory investment level, which we don't know. Anyway, see you in next part.